When people see my speed, my power, my precision, they think it came overnight. But what they don't see are the years behind the punch, the endless hours when the world slept and I stayed awake drilling the same kick 1,000 times until my bones ached and my muscles screamed. I did not build this strength in comfort. I built it in repetition. I built it in silence. I built it when no one was watching. When I was young, I understood something most men never do. Discipline is freedom. Freedom is not doing whatever you want. Freedom is having control over yourself when no one else can control you. A man without discipline is a leaf in the wind, but a warrior with discipline, he becomes the wind itself. I train not to impress, not to entertain. I train to master myself, to conquer the laziness within, to silence the voice that said, rest, stop, you've done enough. No, I had not done enough. I had only just begun. People love to talk about talent, but talent without discipline is a spark with no flame. It dies in the wind. Repetition, that is where the fire is born. I did not fear the man who practiced 10,000 kicks once. I feared the man who practiced one kick 10,000 times, because that man understands war. Every morning I stood before the bag. One movement, one kick, over and over. The world around me would fade. The noise would disappear. And there was only breath, movement, impact. In those moments, I wasn't training my body. I was sharpening my mind. I was forging my spirit, turning the ordinary into something deadly. Discipline is not glamorous. It is sweat on the floor. It is bruises no one sees. It is waking up when your body begs for rest. It is silence. But from that silence, a storm is born. I've met men who wanted shortcuts. They wanted to be strong tomorrow. They wanted the reward without the war. But warriors know there are no shortcuts to mastery. You don't climb the mountain in one leap. You carve each step with your own hands. You build your weapon one strike at a time. You bleed into your craft until your soul and your skill are one. Some nights I trained alone in the dark. No audience, no applause, no light. Just me, my breath, my will. And in those hours, I became dangerous. Because discipline makes a man unshakable. While others sleep, the warrior sharpens his sword. While others doubt, the warrior drills the same move until doubt is broken. The body follows the mind, and the mind bows to discipline. Discipline is not about punishment. It is about clarity. It is about choosing the path of pain today, so you can walk with power tomorrow. I love the pain, not because I was a masochist, but because pain was the sound of progress. Every bruise whispered, "You're getting stronger." Every ache shouted, "You're becoming sharper." Pain was my ally, not my enemy. I remember once, my hands were raw, bleeding from the wooden dummy. Most would have stopped. I smiled because the pain reminded me that my body was becoming the weapon I imagined. And the weapon is not forged in comfort. It is forged in fire. Discipline demands you do it again and again and again until the movement disappears, until thought is no longer required, until the strike becomes instinct. That's when a warrior is born. People ask, Bruce, how did you become so fast? I didn't chase speed. I chased consistency. I chased mastery. Speed was just the byproduct. When you stop counting the reps, when you stop needing motivation, when it becomes who you are, you have found discipline. There were days my body refused to move, my legs heavy, my lungs burning, my mind tired. But discipline whispered, keep going. Discipline never yells. It whispers, and you either obey or remain average. The difference between the warrior and the ordinary man is simple. The warrior listens to discipline. The ordinary man listens to comfort. Discipline doesn't care about mood. It doesn't care about excuses. It doesn't care if the world is fair. It only asks one thing. Will you show up? I showed up every single day. Rain, heat, pain, no matter what, because I knew if I didn't give the best of myself today, I had no right to expect greatness tomorrow. I have seen many men rise fast and fall faster. Why? Because they built their house on talent. But I built mine on discipline. And storms cannot break what is built in fire. I trained when the world turned away, when the lights were gone, when even my friends thought I was too obsessed. But obsession is just discipline with fire in its veins. When I kicked, I didn't just kick with my leg. I kicked with every drop of discipline behind it. That's why it landed. That's why it broke through defenses. Because behind that single movement was 10,000 hours of war. I trained my mind to obey, my body to follow, my spirit to lead. Discipline became my religion, and mastery, my destiny. Discipline is not a prison. It is a weapon. It doesn't lock you in. It frees you from weakness. It frees you from doubt. It frees you from the need for permission. Because when discipline lives in you, you no longer wait for opportunity. You become the opportunity. You no longer hope for the right moment. You create the moment. Many think greatness is born in the spotlight. They are wrong. Greatness is born in the dark. When no one is watching, when no one applauds, when no one believes, in that silence, discipline either dies or transforms you. For me, it transformed me into a storm. When you look at me and say, Bruce Lee, the legend, remember this. It wasn't magic. It wasn't luck. It was discipline. A war fought every day, not against others, but against myself. The war with comfort. The war with excuses. The war with the weaker version of me. I didn't train for fame. I trained for mastery. And when you aim for mastery, fame comes as a shadow. It follows, but it never leads. Discipline leads. Discipline is the sword. And the man who wields it, he carves his name into history. Let me tell you something, warrior. You may not be the fastest. You may not be the strongest. But if you have discipline, you will outlast them all. Because talent fades, luck breaks, but discipline endures. Every warrior has a choice. Listen to the weakness that whispers rest, or obey the discipline that commands rise. I chose to rise, and every time I rose, I became sharper, harder, faster, unstoppable. When you strike, let your discipline strike with you. When you fall, let your discipline pick you up. When you are tired, let your discipline speak louder than your pain. Discipline isn't in the muscles. It's in the soul. It's the quiet fire that never goes out. I am not a legend because I won fights. I am a legend because I showed up every single day, no matter what. Discipline is the true master. I just became its student. And in becoming its student, I became a warrior. I am Bruce Lee, and discipline made me unstoppable.